Axie Infinity, the king of NFT gaming. Or at least it was for some time, but now people are leaving, Axies are worthless, SLP is worthless, and AXS is following the same path. There's Origin, which was a big upgrade to the gameplay, but is it good enough to compete with the NFT gaming AAA titles that are going to be released this year? You're watching the Crypto Herd, I'm Bruno, and I'm going to tell you why I've dumped my land plot, Japanese Axies, a bunch of other Axie assets, and why you should do exactly the same. But first things first, let's take a look into Axie Status right now, and for that we're going to go to the DApp radar, where we can see that Axie Infinity still holds a throne in NFT gaming, with around 500k monthly active players, but we can also see that it took a big hit of 25% in its player base in the last month. We can confirm these numbers in activeplayer.io, where we can see that the monthly active players went from almost 3 million back in January to right now 766k monthly active players. And we can also see that in June Axie lost more than 1 million monthly active players, which is insane. Now let's take a look into Axie Assets. If you come to the Axie marketplace, we can see that Axies that once were worth around 1 Ethereum, 0.5 Ethereum are now worth $10. If you take a look into their governance token, AXS is currently at the price of $16, really far away from its all-time highs of $160 back in June of last year. If you take a look into the classic SLP, it's currently at the price of 0.004 cents of a dollar, so it's almost at 1 cent of a dollar, really far from its all-time highs of 36 cents of a dollar back in May 2021. As you guys can see, Axie lost lots of players, and the assets of this Web3 project lost all their value. But this could also be due to the current crypto market conditions, because as you guys already know, during bear markets all the crypto tourists leave, and because of this also NFT gaming took a huge hit. Now the question of the age is right here. What is the team doing to deal with this? Let's start with the Lumination Summer, which is a breeding event where during a limited amount of time, if you breed Axies, you might get Axies with special body parts. So this is identical to the Christmas Axies, the Melcorp, the Japanese Axies. So these are Axies that cosmetically they're going to look different, so they're going to be a bit more rare. And this is going to increase a bit the buying pressure for SLP and the AXS, but at the same time it's going to flood the market with even more Axies, probably lowering even further the floor price. Besides this, the team also finally gave some utility to land plots. So right now you can stake your land plot and get the AXS. So this is really good for land owners, but is it good for the economy of Axie? Think about it. AXS, what's the utility of it? It's a governance token, but there's no governance in Axie Infinity right now. So AXS is only used to breed, and right now there's the breeding event, so okay, people might buy it for a moment, but the truth is that it's not really profitable that much to breed right now, because 0.5 AXS, which is what you pay every time you breed, is around $8, and the floor price of Axies is at $10. And because of that, the utility of AXS is really weak. And as you guys know, utility is what creates the buying pressure, and it's what either stabilizes or makes the price go up. So since we don't have this buying pressure, I do believe that AXS in the long term is going to keep dumping and dumping. So the value you would get by staking land is going to decrease over time. Okay, that's why I actually sold my forest land plot. And this was a great opportunity because people got hyped with land staking and the prices increased. So I've sold it for 3 Ethereum, which goes for $4,400, give or take. But let's imagine that instead of selling it, I would have staked it. Well, I would get 0.26 AXS, which goes for around $4. So let's do some maths here. By staking it, in order to get this $4,400, it will take me like 4 years. So if you think about it from an investment point of view, it's not really worth to stake it. And when it comes to Japanese Axies, I've also sold them because unlike other Axies that are almost worthless, Japanese Axies still hold some value. So the floor of Japanese Axies goes for $147, and if you think about it, which advantages does Japanese Axies or Christmas Axies or the summer Axies are going to give you? Zero! The only difference in these Axies from the normal Axies is merely cosmetic, so they only look prettier, but they don't give you any advantage in game. Besides this, I've also dumped AXS and SLP some time ago because, as we saw, I don't think it's really worth to breed right now. Maybe it could be during the summer event, maybe get some special Axie that's going to be worth a bit more, but in the long term I think these tokens are going to keep dumping and dumping. And I actually recommend you do the same because, as I've mentioned, there are AAA titles coming out right now. This is the perfect buying opportunity because we are in a bear market, so everything is cheap. And do you really want to have your liquidity stuck in a project like Axie Infinity that hasn't been doing well in the last months? Well, my answer is no, but this is just my opinion and I could be wrong. Axie Infinity team is trying to register Axie Infinity on an app store, and that could be huge for the project. That could bring lots of new players to the space, and that could increase the demand for Axie assets. At the same time, land gameplay could also bring lots of players and more utility for SLP, AXS, RON, so that could also be a game changer. But honestly, I do believe that that's unlikely, and that's why I recommend that you also cash out from Axie Infinity. Now, I've mentioned that there are AAA NFT gaming titles coming up in the next months, right? One of them is Planet Mojo, and I recommend to watch the video I've done about it, which you can find right here in the corner. Cryptomanics, thanks for watching, and see you in the metaverse!